Though David had united Israel and ruled as a powerful king, his greatest struggles did not come from enemies on the battlefield. They came from within his own house. David's sins and failures had consequences. The peace of his kingdom was shaken by pain, jealousy, and betrayal among his own children. David had many sons and daughters, but his family was divided. One of David's sons, Amnon, was consumed by desire for his half-sister Tamar. He deceived her and committed a terrible crime. Afterward, he cast her aside, leaving her broken and shamed. David was furious when he heard of what had happened. Yet he did nothing. Justice was delayed, and silence allowed bitterness to grow. Tamar's full brother, Absalom, never forgot what Amnon had done. For 2 years he waited. Then, at a feast, Absalom arranged for Amnon to be killed. Absalom fled into exile. David mourned the loss of Amnon. And though he longed for Absalom, his heart remained divided between love and justice. Years later, Absalom was allowed to return to Jerusalem. But David refused to see him. The distance between father and son deepened. Absalom was handsome, charming, and ambitious. He slowly won the hearts of the people. He stood at the city gate, listening to complaints and promising justice. Little by little, he turned the people against David. At last, Absalom declared himself king. Once again, David was forced to flee Jerusalem. The mighty king left the city barefoot and weeping. The man who had conquered nations now escaped from his own son. David refused to fight Absalom directly. He ordered his commanders to deal gently with the young man. David's heart was still that of a father. The battle came. Absalom's forces were defeated. As Absalom fled, his hair caught in the branches of a tree. He was struck down. When David heard the news, he was overcome with grief. He cried out, "Oh, my son Absalom, my son, my son, if only I had died instead of you." His sorrow silenced celebration. Victory tasted like ashes. David returned to Jerusalem, carrying grief rather than triumph. As the years passed, David grew old and weak. His strength faded, but his wisdom remained. Another struggle arose within the royal family. David's son, Adonijah, attempted to claim the throne without his father's blessing. Once again, ambition threatened to tear the family apart. But this time, David acted. He declared that Solomon, the son of Bathsheba, would be king. Solomon was anointed before all Israel. Peace was restored, and the line of succession was secured. In his final days, David spoke to Solomon. He urged him to walk in God's ways, to rule with justice, to lead with wisdom. David prepared everything he could for the future temple. Though he would not build it himself, he gathered materials, plans, and prayers for the house of God. At last, David died. He had reigned for 40 years. He had been a shepherd, a warrior, a fugitive, a king, a sinner, and a servant. David's life was not perfect. His family was broken. His choices brought pain as well as blessing. Yet David was remembered as a man after God's own heart. Not because he was without failure, but because he repented, trusted God, and sought mercy. His legacy lived on through Solomon, through the kingdom he built, through the songs he wrote, through the faith he passed on. David's story reminds us that greatness does not mean perfection. True legacy is shaped through humility, repentance, and faith. And so ends the story of David, a man deeply flawed and deeply loved by God.